Welcome back to The Truth is Viral Live. My name is Bob Powell, and tonight I'm coming to you once again from Naval Air Station, Pensacola. This is one of my favorite places. I am well protected here from just about any kind of douchebaggery. In last night's show, I told you how Michigan Congressman Kerry Bentivolio had come to me with an offer of $200,000 to stop talking about my January 6th video. And when I refused it, he told me that Ron Weiser, the chairman of the Michigan Republican Party, was going to have me killed. Well, it is what it is. Good luck. Next time, don't send an Antifa transgender punk to do the job. Send a man, okay? This guy, he got scared, and at the last second, he ran away. It was, in retrospect, it was hilarious. But if he had had any balls whatsoever, he could have hurt me and a lot of other people. He had a nice big pipe bomb, nail studded. If he'd had any balls at all and used it, a lot of people could have been hurt, maybe dead. So, but I don't have any fear of death. I'm good with the Lord right now, because I'm out here telling the truth. You know, Revelation 21:8 includes liars as those who are going to enjoy the second death and be thrown into the pit of fire. And when it comes to liars, Pete Santilli and his woman Deb Jordan, boy, they really topped the list. The other day, they went on a 3.5-hour rant, almost 4 hours, and just about every word that came out of their filthy sewers was a lie. So I took about 8 pages of notes. And I'm not going to subject you to the entire 3.5 hours worth of his garbage. I just took out little clips, and we'll go over those. Because that's one thing I can do is take notes. That's the difference between a journalist and a mouth like Pete Santilli. Okay, so let's take these one by one, shall we?
Bobby Powell, I'm going to certify today, will be the last person that will ever step out and say that Pete Santilli is an FBI informant and have any credibility whatsoever with the public, okay?
The first thing almost out of his mouth was that I was going to be the last person to call him an FBI informant. That is very true, because by the time I'm done, it's going to be accepted as fact. Got a lot of stuff to cover, so let's continue.
In fact, I'm sure that my good friends over at the Federal Bureau of Investigations, they listen. I don't need to inform on them. They just tune in. They tune into the Pete Santilli show. Before the end of the show, if the FBI really is, the super high integrity agency that applies equal application of the law, will indict Bobby Powell by the end of the show.
Okay, Pete says that by the end of the show, the FBI is going to indict Bobby Powell. Listen, numbnuts, the FBI doesn't indict anybody. The Department of Justice indicts people. And I'll tell you why the FBI hasn't arrested me. It's very simple, very logical. God put me in the right place at the right time to capture video evidence that the FBI created and led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th. There's no doubt about it. For the past 13 months, all of my phone calls to the FBI have been ignored. They won't return my emails. They won't return my invitation to come in and give them a statement. And all of the video and recordings that I made on the 5th, 6th, and 7th of January, 2021. Okay, so, if they wanted to arrest me, they would have to put my video in front of a federal judge. And that video shows me defending a window that one of their operatives had just pulled from its frame and stood aside and urged people to go in. where was Pete? Down on the lawn with the women. The women could have gone to the cars. There was an apartment not a block away that they could have gone into. If Pete was any kind of a journalist at all, he would have come with me and we would have captured some great footage. But he's not. And there's another reason why he didn't record any video. He didn't record a single second of this action because he is an FBI operative and he didn't want to accidentally catch FBI guys doing dirty deeds. So Pete, stay down with the women where you belong. Let's continue.
I've given this guy thousands of dollars, paid off his credit cards, actually ended up paying one credit card twice. I've given him thousands. I've offered him a job and told him, you can make video editors. It's a high-skill job. It's our highest paying job, obviously, because there's a lot of work that goes into that. I gave him the opportunity to earn $1,000 a week.
He says that he paid off my credit cards. This moron showed you a text that he sent me saying that he had spent $2,500 paying off my credit card. I guess he didn't bother to think that I might have the actual credit card statements. Here they are. Started off in December with about $400, $500 on my card. In January, I rented the SUV that took us to Washington, D.C. because Pete doesn't have a credit card. He doesn't even have a driver's license. Neither does Deb. That's why my fiance had to drive all through the night through a damn blizzard because they don't know how to drive a car. Up and down the damn mountains, right? She couldn't see a damn thing. Windshield wipers were broken. And Lindsay says she's scared for her life. Well, who wouldn't be driving through a damn blizzard in the middle of the night when you can't see anything? But she got it done. In January, I rented the car, paid for a lot of the meals, right? Paid for a lot of the expenses until the card was maxed out. Pete says that he paid the card off to the tune of $2,500. Well, let's look through the statement, shall we? Here's January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That's when I paid off my credit card with the proceeds from the sale of my house. Pete says that he called Capital One and tried to correct some mistakes. Yeah, what he did was he pretended to be some kind of lawyer. He mentioned the word FARF, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and they locked my card. Even if after I paid it off, I couldn't use it. But he wanted to make life as difficult for me as possible. He didn't want me out spreading my video. He would not introduce me to Roger Stone. I had to go out and find a way around it and do that myself. He wouldn't take me on the Alex Jones show. He had no problem using my video when he was on the Alex Jones show. But he wouldn't get me on there. He wouldn't introduce me to General Flint. He wouldn't introduce me to anybody because he didn't want my video getting into the hands of people that could actually do something about it. That's part of his job as an FBI operative. So let's continue on to the next part. Oh, yeah. Another thing, offering me this job, $1,000 a week editing video. He wanted to keep me too busy. He was hoping that my need for money would be greater than my need to get the truth into the hands of those that can do something about this. He wanted to keep me busy for 40, 60 hours a week so that I couldn't accomplish my mission.
And what did he do? He went into our threads and said, ladies and gentlemen, I need donations for thumb drives. And he ends up in New York City begging me for money. I said, dude, you could have, how many hours do you have racked up over the past 2 weeks? He said, oh, none. I've been busy with my video. I said, you could have earned $2,000 and you're asking me for money. And this happened in around June. And you're going to see this. I have it documented. I was literally helping this guy out, paying off his credit cards, offering him a job.
Okay, so now Pete's saying, don't tell the FBI what you did. Don't tell them about your video.
I was helping him so as not to incriminate himself, not to cover anything up, but I told him, shut your mouth about going in the Capitol.
That's a crime. If a person has knowledge of a felony, they are required by 18 U.S.C. Section 4 to report it to federal authorities. Pete Santilli just admitted to committing a federal felony. Enjoy that, bud.
So we have coming on the show tonight Eric Parker, Todd Engel, Jerry DeLemus, and John Ritzheimer. And guess who else?
Can I make some recommendations?
Sure.
I actually asked everybody, hey, can you come on and just tell the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I asked them to come on. So you have to consider that. But I just want you to listen to their words, like Jeanette Finicum. Do you think she is a liar?
Well,
you have to decide that.
Last but not least,
right?
Jeanette Finicum has something to say about Bobby Powell.
Not one of them exonerated Pete. To the last one. All they said was, we haven't ever seen evidence that Pete was an informant for the FBI. Well, they did last night, and now you're going to see it again. This is Pete's arrest, a record of his arrest as he was traveling out to Malheur. He got arrested in Hamilton, Ohio, for carrying a loaded weapon in his car. Now, Pete's a felon. He should not be having a weapon at all, much less in his car while he's traveling. Yet he's almost immediately released after a phone call from the federal government, released on his own recognizance, and he's allowed to continue traveling to Malheur. He said himself he was on the National Terrorism Watch list. Who is going to release a felon caught with an illegal weapon on his own recognizance? No, sir. That's not the way it works. Unless there's some kind of federal intervention. And then after he was released, his records were sealed by the judge because they contain quote, unquote, sensitive information. Now, Jeanette Finicum is a lovely woman. I met her in North Carolina at the Patriot Summit earlier last year. And the last thing I want to do is to bring her any grief. But darling, if you're watching this, you've been fooled by one of the best. Pete Santilli is very good at what he does. He's a liar. He's a thief. He's a federal informant. And he had a hand in murdering your husband. According to Jeremy Hansen, Pete was on a telephone call, a conference call with 5 other broadcasters. And he admitted telling the FBI where your husband was, where the convoy was that the Bundys were in, taking him to the sheriff in the next county, telling them when they were going to leave, what route they were going to take.
So me, Jermaine Bozzio, Terry Littlepage, we're sitting there discussing this, and we didn't want to lose Joe. And Terry's like, well, let's just call Pete and, get it straight from the horse's mouth. He calls him. He introduces us all. He says, hey, some of the guys have some problems. And Joe Biggs, being Joe Biggs, got up or just said right away, Pete, I heard that you had something to do with Finicum's death. And Pete Santilli said, okay, hang on. I'm not a federal agent. I'm not a narc, but I made a call and told the FBI where they were because I was protecting children. I was protecting wherever they were going. I don't know. This is just my interaction that he's talking about now. Wherever they were going to go, he was protecting children that were supposedly in some building on some reserve somewhere. He didn't want the children to get hurt, so he made a call and told them what route they were taking. That was the extent of the conversation. But he said, I'm not a federal agent. I'm not working with anybody. I was just trying to protect children. If you don't believe me and you think that I'm wrong, if you think I'm lying, call Jermaine Bozzio. If you think that I'm lying and you don't believe Jermaine, call Joe Biggs. And if you don't believe this, call Terry Littlepage himself, which happened to be owner of Liberty One TV. So, was he a Fed? I don't know. But he admitted himself that he made a call to make sure that children were protected, and it may have ended up in them getting pulled over in the trap being whatever. That's what I know for sure. I'm not going on what anybody else says. I'm just telling you what I was told. Then, right after that, Joe Biggs says, listen, I've got a paper right here, a fax from you to the FBI, and it's been circulated since then. It's been circulated all over the internet. I don't know if it's true because Pete keeps saying it's not, but on that day, Pete had a different story. On that day, Pete said, hey, after I did that, people misunderstood my intentions, and I started getting death threats. So the FBI was supposed to protect me because this fax said, hey, this is me, Pete. Why are you not protecting me like you said you would? Okay. This all came out in this conversation about Joe Biggs leaving the platform because he thought that Pete Santilli was a Fed. Pete came out and said, well, I wasn't a Fed, but I did do this. And that fax was just they were supposed to protect me because I was getting death threats from. So it is what it is. You guys come up and make up your own decision.
He set your husband up to be killed. I'm sorry. I know it breaks your heart. It broke my heart when I found out that he was a damn Fed, too. Pete Santilli was my friend for 10 years. My best friend. I would have taken a bullet for him. He broke the faith. It's just as simple as that.
I'm Pete Santilli, and you're watching The Truth is Viral.
Do not click away. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
He wanted to leave before President Trump finished his speech. He said, President Trump hasn't finished his speech. I'm going to go get up front where the action is. I'm a journalist. I'm a journalist for my... I said, okay, you go do your journalist thing. I need the keys. And everybody was like, oh, hell no. Don't give those guys... And you're going to hear why nobody wanted to give this guy the keys. Because him and his... I'm going to have to say, in my opinion, I believe she's just a half-baked schizophrenic. Crazy chick. Crazy. on opioids, whatever, just drug-induced or just a mental imbalance. That's in my opinion, my personal observation, but I'm not qualified to medically certify anybody. What I will say is I'm qualified not to hand my keys to a person like that.
Okay, Pete Santilli's talking about how he didn't want to give me the keys to the car. Hey, I rented the damn SUV. I was responsible for it. For all intents and purposes, it belonged to me. He had no right to deny me those keys. My fiance had just had a knee replacement. Her knee hurt from walking from the Ellipse to the Capitol building, and it's standing around all day in the freezing temperatures. All we wanted to do was get her into a vehicle so that she could, sit down and take a rest. And Pete didn't want to give me the keys? Fuck you, asshole. Accuses her of being on drugs and being crazy. Deb says she was the nicest person the day before.
And here's the crazy part. We're all get settled in, and then it was like a light switch went off. Like somebody had turned her switch off, and she became so sweet and so nice.
It was crazy.
She could not do enough for us.
Yeah, well, you treated her like a freaking slave.
I watched, I saw her, like Deb said, she went and not only assaulted, or, I don't even know if it's assault, but if someone tried to touch her, she would kind of do this, and like push them. And I saw her do that with Bobby. I saw her do that with other people. She was just very unhappy to be there. And I don't think she wanted to be there.
He put up a picture of my face laughing. That was funny. Does that look like the face of somebody that has been assaulted by his girlfriend? Somebody whose girlfriend has gone crazy? No, we were having a good time. And now Lindsay Grathwall, who the daughter of a real undercover FBI agent, says that my girlfriend was hitting people that touched her. Let me spill the beans on that. Yeah, she did. I don't know which one it was. She doesn't even know. But somebody in the group of people that we were with came up from behind her and put his arms around her. And yeah, she gave him an elbow in the stomach. I'm proud of her. She should have turned around and socked him in the head. If I had seen it, I would have ripped off his head and shit down his fucking neck. Nobody touches my woman. Period. I don't care who it is. If it would have been Pete Santilli, my best friend, I would have decked him right there. You don't touch a woman without her consent. The hell's wrong with you? Even trying to justify that garbage.
But I'm going to say this. I have sat on information about Bobby Powell being in the Capitol. Okay, and I'm going to conspiracy theorize as well. I find it interesting that the Capitol Police had his phone. He spoke with them on January 6th, and Bobby was never indicted. Owen Schroyer is a journalist, okay? He's a pretty good one. And he was on the other side of the Capitol, and he was indicted for doing far less than what Bobby Powell did. Bobby Powell hasn't been indicted. And he's running around to all these outlets with his one video, and he's using everyone, every single outlet, to try to save himself from getting arrested.
I probably would have been indicted had I not captured the video of that federal agent pulling the window from its frame.
Do not go in there.
That's my saving grace. That's why I am not in federal custody right now, because it scares the FBI to death, the thought of putting my video in front of a federal judge to seek a warrant for my arrest. Judge is going to say, what the hell is this? Who in the hell is that guy in the black? Why hasn't his images been uploaded to the FBI's website? Judge is going to say, I see Bobby Powell defending the window that man pulled out of its frame. I want an explanation. So that's why I haven't been indicted. He says that I'm running around to all these different outlets trying to save myself from getting arrested with my one video. Actually, I've got several videos, Pete. 2 that are very important. The one of the guy in the black pulling the window out, and the one of the other Fed in the brown pushing people inside and holding the door open with a baton. Those are very important videos. They're critical to this historical investigation. And they're also what saved my ass from getting indicted. So yes, I took them around to everybody I could think of, everybody with a pulse, everybody that I could, give it to. Epic Times, Breitbart, Gateway Pundit, OAN, Newsmax. Fox News is coming up, Pete. How would you like me to mention your name when I'm on with Tucker Carlson, bud? Don't think I won't. Don't think I won't for a second. Or Joe Rogan. That's going to be a hell of an interview. Haven't got that scheduled yet, but it's coming. Because I've got the tenacity of a Marine. Because I am a Marine, you fucking pig. You're not. You're a damn shitbird. Pete's bio says that he voted for Obama. Because he wanted some revolutionary change. He also says that he was a door gunner in a helicopter. That's bullshit. Pete was a grease monkey. He turned wrenches on helicopters. Just another Pete Santilli lie. Okay, they're saying now that I was in the Capitol more than once, or I said that I was in the Capitol more than once in their presence. That's a provable lie. I never entered the Capitol. My video shows this. And so would the surveillance footage from outside the Capitol, if it ever gets released, all 14,000 hours of it. I only showed you one video of me defending a breach in the Capitol, because the other times I was too busy getting my ass beat to take video. I was in bed for a month after all the adrenaline wore off, after we got home. I was beat bloody defending the Capitol. Where was Pete? Chicken shit liar. Federal operative was down with the women. Staying out of trouble, he says. He just didn't want to capture any video that might hurt the deep state. Our schism took place after Pete refused to allow me to use the video that he took of 2 guys dressed head to toe in black on black bicycles to Newsmax. I had a second interview scheduled with Greg Kelly, and that video was critical to the story he was telling at the time, which was Antifa being there and changing from their Antifa clothes into Trump supporter clothes.
Here's the video. Here it is. Now, if there's foul language, folks, you're going to have to get off the show. You're going to be offended. At some point, you will be, I promise.
And remember, Pete's just razzing these guys.
Yeah.
He's just razzing them. They had done nothing wrong.
This may be the one where I walked right past them, but this was the video that he wanted. And he wanted to go on Newsmax and say, it's Antifa, it's Antifa.
Ready to go? Deb. Deborah.
Man, it was cold.
Where is she? Where's Deb?
I was passing out constitutions.
Yeah.
Where are they going? Oh my God. Where's Deb?
Now, did you hear what I just said?
We were passing out constitutions.
Did you hear what I just said? Where are they going? You know who I'm screaming about? Bobby Powell, the welfare recipient, gooftard, crazy person, who went out to go get our meal and didn't come back for 5 hours the night before, who's yelling and screaming at his executive producer, okay? And they were gone. I'm like, where the hell did they go? There's Colton Boyles, okay? We're trying to track down the freaking gooftards.
So Pete can't find Deb. He says, oh my God, where's Deb? And he's talking about me and my fiance. Where the hell did they go? He says, we were off somewhere. Then his camera pans around and captures video of us standing right next to him. You fucking stupid moron.
There's Colton Boyles, okay? We're trying to track down the freaking gooftards.
Come here. Where are we going?
I don't know. I just wanted to move so we won't have people front and behind us. Let's get behind them.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to go.
Folks, we were nervous at this point. There's guys with backpacks, and we didn't know if they had fireworks, guns, whatever. We're very nervous right here.
I want to go up higher. Yeah. I want to go higher. I just want to get higher so we can see the screen.
Oh, you want to get up higher to get a better view. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing? Who are you guys with?
The back you go, the higher you are.
You, me,
yeah.
everybody else here.
We're together. Patriots, right?
Yeah, man.
You Patriot? How do you spell MAGA? What's up? How do you spell it?
Man.
Do you see everybody looking at them? That's our crew right there surrounding them. I said, how do you spell MAGA?
How you guys doing? Good?
Let's go.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Hey, boss.
Huh?
Hey, are they plants?
Yeah.
Hey, Antifa right there.
Antifa.
Antifa right fucking there. Get the word out, Antifa. Hey, that's fucking Antifa right there. Right?
Excuse my French, you guys. I was very concerned.
Well, I look at it this way.
What's with all their packs? Huh?
This way.
What's with all their packs? Huh? They got fireworks and shit in that fucking thing? Huh? And we don't have 911 access, right?
And I had also captured video that morning on the phone that I lost on the second steps, the second landing of the east side, not inside the Capitol as they claim. But on that phone is video of a DC pickup truck, a DC police pickup truck, with these bicycles in the back, handing them out to the guys all dressed in black. So, were they Antifa? Were they federal agents? I have no idea. But that video was critical to the storyline that Greg Kelly was telling that night. He refused to let me use it, even though we had made an agreement to share our video, to pool our video, anything that we recorded on January 6th. Now, think about it for a second. Doesn't that sound logical? That two friends who are at an event would share their video? You can have mine, I'll take yours. Okay, but Pete wouldn't allow me to have it. And by his own admission, it didn't show anything. But it did. So what harm would it have done to let me have 45 seconds worth of video? He'd been using my video everywhere. And I never charged him a dime. I was living up to our agreement to pool our video. What's mine is his. What's his should have been mine. Again, Pete Santilli lied. Made up some stupid excuse of Newsmax settling a lawsuit with Dominion. So what? They're trying to stay in business. A lawsuit like that could have killed them. And Newsmax is the only network, and OAN, the only networks that are telling the damn truth. Even Fox News doesn't tell the truth all the time. You guys know this. But Pete couldn't have that video out there. He simply couldn't do it.
Let me tell you how much of a man of principle I am compared to the sleazebag monsters, okay? The freaking half-tards, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. You got Bobby, all he cares about, got to get my video out. I got to get my video out. I got to get my video out. Here he is at Fox. It started at the Capitol.
Let's go. We're rolling. Let's go. I'm Pete Santilli.
Pete
That's
Santilli is my brother from another mother.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
You can
Mike.
give it to the Pete Santilli show. You want me to pay you? Because they're not going to pay you. They're going to fuck you. Let's go. Fox News fucking sucks. Absolutely. You guys suck. You've screwed me more times than I can count. Okay? Bundy Ranch, Malheur National Wildlife Refuge. Right? Do you know about all that?
I hope you guys are happy.
You don't?
You caused all this. immediately.
You did.
You guys caused every bit of this.
You guys
Bobby
have
Powell.
literally incited
Fox
all this by holding back information about this election.
And then you turned your back
Okay.
on us. You let them know that we know who they
Calling
are.
Nevada
You
with
divided
6% of the votes in? Give me a break.
You guys divided
was
the
fucked
people. You divided everybody. You spent 4 years dividing everybody, and then you turned your back.
This guy was literally, Bobby Powell, literally transferring the file, and I stopped him.
I came across Mike Tubin outside of the Capitol. I'd met Mike at the Republican National Convention in 2016, and we'd had some pleasant words. And I went up to him again, and I showed him my footage. I was going to give my footage to Fox News so that they could play it right away. Pete stopped me from doing that. He didn't want that footage to be aired because it showed government complicity in the attack on the Capitol, and he knew it. So I trusted him. He said, don't give it to Fox News, give it to me. I'll upload it to my service and we'll get it out there and you'll get paid. I've never cared about getting paid on this. Never have. Do I ask for donations for operating expenses? Yes, I do. So does Peter Thomas Santilli. He asks for donations all the time. But I don't care about getting paid for this. I just wanted to get the truth out there. This was an historic moment. And the truth needed to be told. If I had been able to give that footage to Fox News, this whole insurrection narrative might have been nipped in the bud that very day. If Fox News had published my video of that man in black tearing out that window, the whole story might have been different. So Pete was successful in his mission as a government operative, keeping that video suppressed, because I trusted him. I loved him, and I would have done practically anything that he said.
Bobby Powell now is on the record saying that if any federal law enforcement officers come and arrest him, that they're going to die. And I said, well, that's not going to look upon you favorably when during your release hearing.
Okay, Pete says, I'm on the record saying that I want to murder federal law enforcement officers. He's so full of shit. Did he show you a single text that said, I want to do that? No, he didn't, because I never sent him one like that. I told him, and I know that my phone is being watched. Every text message I send, every website that I visit, every phone call that I make, it's being watched by the feds. So I want him to know that I'm going to defend myself. I have no reason to believe that legitimate federal officers are going to come banging down my door. Why would they? I have volunteered to come in 3 times. The only thing I required was that I bring my lawyer with me. And he's a good lawyer, too. I told them that I would provide them with all of the video that I shot on January 5th, 6th, and 7th, all of the pictures that I took, all of the text messages that I sent, like they don't already have them. There's no reason for legitimate federal officers to come to my house or my fifth wheel, because I volunteered to come in peacefully. So I have to assume that anybody that does come to me with violence has either been sent by Ron Weiser, who has threatened my life if I don't stop talking about this video. You know, Ron Weiser, again, is the chairman of the Republican Party in Michigan. So it's either going to be somebody sent by Ron Weiser or those two assholes that I recorded attacking the Capitol. Do you think that they want to go to prison for treason and sedition? They've got a very good motivation to kill me. And I'm sure that they've got access to all the blue lights that they want, all the bullhorns that they can handle. I'm sure that they wouldn't have any problem attacking my domicile, yelling FBI. They kill me, then they fade off, never to be seen again. So I told Pete, anybody that comes to my house, I keep on saying my house, I don't have a house anymore. I've lost everything in this fight. But anybody that comes after me like that, yes, they're going to die. I'll probably be killed too, but I guarantee you that I'm going to fall down in a pile of brass surrounded by the bodies of my enemies. Those that tried to harm me and the people that I'm with. We are biblically commanded to protect the innocent. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. Offensive violence is forbidden to us, but we are required to defend ourselves. There's a reason why Jesus said, if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. He felt that self-defense was more important than being warm on a cold Galilean night.
Yeah, because normally we would have guns too, and we'd be able to protect ourselves. But since the federal tyrants want to make sure they're the only ones that have them,
Amen.
you better damn sure make sure you're buddies with some good constitutional cops if you're in D.C.
Okay, so this is funny. Colton Boyles says, you better make sure that you're buddies with constitutional cops when you're in Washington, D.C. Let's see how Pete Santilli makes buddies with this ATF agent that's literally doing nothing.
That's right. There's Deb. Deb the activist. We found out that somebody got shot.
God damn it.
Who you with? What agency are you with? Oh, I can't say that.
ATF, can you leave me alone?
ATF, you're corrupt. I wanted to find out which corrupt agency you're with. Shut the fuck up. I can just talk as much as I want, right? I have free speech. ATF, corrupt agency. Just wanted to check. You like that? I pay your freaking bills too. Yes, I do.
Okay, now we come to a little segment where they got video of me saying I stormed the Capitol. This was in response to a group that's saying that they wanted to shoot cops.
Now watch, ladies and gentlemen, watch this, okay?
On the main side.
On the main side.
Main.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
The
that's
tune's
great.
going up.
Where do we apply to shoot people? Huh? News! Hey, news! Where do we apply to be a cop? Everybody has to kill somebody today!
Shoot the
The
cop.
fucking cops killed somebody!
Where do we
Report
apply
on
to
that!
shoot people?
They fucking killed a girl today!
Media,
Why
where
are
do
you
we apply
fucking
to
telling
shoot
us
people?
that?
Where do we
You
apply?
guys are the fucking
Where do we apply?
problem! Yeah,
Where do
do
we
your fucking
apply?
bacon, bitch!
I stormed the fucking Capitol.
I don't give a
He's
fuck.
not yelling at you,
Get over
man.
here, motherfucker!
He's not yelling at
You
you,
old
man.
goddamn
He's yelling
motherfucker!
Did you hear what he said?
Wow.
I stormed the
I
Capitol.
stormed the Capitol. He said that.
That made me angry. So it was a poor choice of words, and yes, I did say that, but my video shows me defending a window that a government operative had pulled from its frame. Shows it beyond a shadow of a doubt. It also shows that I never went into the Capitol. So everything Pete Santilli is telling you is a lie. Yeah, I said that. I just wanted to point out to these freaking punks that I was out there doing a job and getting it done. Where were they? Wanting to shoot cops.
And I don't want no one to cry, but tell them if I don't survive, I was born free.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
So now he brings up the video that I ended my coverage with, the one where I ended up proposing to my fiance. And what's he say here? He said, he points out that I said we had fun. I did have fun. I captured amazing video. That is my job. That is what I live for. I had a blast. And yes, patriots did rush Congress, and yes, they were pissed. That was a statement of fact.
So if you backpedal, there was Bobby Powell, right? And his little troll person, okay? Crazy, batshit crazy chick, sorry. All right? And they're out in front of the Capitol, okay? And he shows me this video. That basically he makes a certain admission here. Listen to this.
Welcome to the United States Capitol. My name is Bob Powell, and we just had some fun.
We just had some fun.
Bunch of patriots rushed Congress.
Bunch of patriots just rushed Congress. I'm very sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Bobby Powell, who had been a friend of mine for 10 years, I said, you need to freaking bury that. Why? Not to cover stuff up, because he should not be incriminating himself with those words, right? I said, don't put it out there. I said, the burden of proof is going to be upon them. Okay, now I had known something else, but let's just listen to what he says here. Celebrating the rushing of Congress.
They're pissed, don't you know?
And they're pissed.
But there's something that I really wanted to do during this special occasion.
Craziest thing I've ever seen.
Of course you didn't know I was going to do it. I didn't know I was going to do it until about 2 minutes ago.
I think I'm going to show you the original video in its full splendor and glory, because this was one of the most special moments in my life, when I asked my fiance to marry me, and she said yes.
Welcome to the United States Capitol. My name is Bob Powell, and we just had some fun. Bunch of patriots rushed Congress. They're pissed, don't you know? And they have no reason. But there's something that I really wanted to do during this special occasion. Of course you didn't know I was going to do it. I didn't know I was going to do it until about 2 minutes ago.
Okay, so now Deb's talking about the heart attack that I had right after an Antifa punk tried to kill me at a Jeremy Brown rally outside Clearwater, in front of the Pinellas County Jail with a pipe bomb. I had the heart attack just a few days later. And it is called a widowmaker. I was 95% blocked in my left anterior descending artery, the huge one that runs down the front of your heart. Most people die right away. But I'm special. I am a United States Marine. I fight to live. Of course, it helped that I was about a mile away from the emergency room. And yes, I did go out jogging. I made that beautiful video. Matter of fact, let's watch it right now. Let me show you exactly the heart of a United States Marine.
Into the fire, I will keep marching on.
I'm Pete Santilli, and you're watching The Truth is Viral.
Do not click away. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Circling your head, contemplating everything you ever said. Now I see the truth, I got it down.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
Back on, I'll take you on. Headstrong to take on anyone. I know that you are wrong. Headstrong, we're headstrong. Back off, I'll take you on. Headstrong to take on anyone. I know that you are wrong, and this is not where you belong.
This guy is literally, I said, I'm going to send the man with the white coats for a wellness check after he did this. Here. You guys watch this. You haven't seen this, Ashley, have you?
No.
Watch this.
No,
Plug
you
your
haven't
ears.
seen this.
Turn the volume down if you're offended by foul language. This comes from Bobby Powell.
I just wanted you to look into the face of a real Marine one last time, you fucking cocksucker. I swear to God, I'm going to burn you to the ground. Your whole fucking show is over with. You fucking Judas goat treason cocksucking son of a bitch. You're done.
Would you like to know why I sent that message to Pete Santilli? I'll tell you why. I was angry. The man had been texting me nonstop for like 5 hours. About 5 messages a minute. I've got hundreds of text messages from him from that very day. And this one I got at 5:43 in the afternoon. He says, I'm going to expose you for molesting your children. Do you have a comment? Your daughter was so traumatized, she committed suicide. Then you went on the internet and begged for sympathy and donations. When your wife attempted to reveal the truth, you poisoned her. Both your wife and daughter revealed the truth before they died. The truth will finally come out. Your 25 viewers deserve to know the truth. First of all, everything in that text was a lie. My daughter died of a heart attack. And my wife struggled for years with colorectal and liver cancer. Pete knows this. Whether he was trying to get my goat and get me pissed off, well, that's probably what he was trying to do. That's exactly what happened, so I sent him that message. And I also told him that if he said one word about that vile crap in public, that I was going to sue him, and I'd win. Well, numbnuts went on the air and repeated it.
I understand you are a pedophile and you took inappropriate showers with your daughter and she committed suicide as a result. How dare you? And I said, I also understand that you poisoned your wife who died as part of the cover-up of your pedophilia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, you think saying nasty things about my wife and daughter is the mark of a godly man? That was pretty low, Pete. I said, do you claim the exclusive right to just make shit up out of thin air? If you can do it, why can't I? How does it feel? How does it feel? Of course, I made the point. How does it feel when people just make stuff up out of thin air like that? I said, I'm going to say that you're a pedophile until you can prove you're not.
He backpedals, and after he gets some pushback, he says, oh, I'm just going to say, if Bobby can make up lies about me being an FBI informant, I can make up lies too. Not the same thing at all, brother. I have evidence to back up my assertions. Your filthy sewer just came up with this shit right out of your ass. You just shit it right on the ground, picked it up, put it in your mouth, and spewed it out. You can't backpedal now and say, oh, I was just making a point. Because I've got screenshots that people that were listening to you believed what you were saying. That is libel and slander. And I am going to sue you for everything that you own. I'm going to take it all, Pete. Every damn dime you have. That $100,000 studio that you walked into after you got out of Pahrump or whatever shithole that you were in for 2.5 years while you were collecting evidence on the defense team's strategy and giving it to the feds. That was his mission while he was locked up with the Bundys and the rest. He says, oh, I'm a lawyer. I know how to build databases and all this other shit. Let me help. Pete is an underground mole. He's not just an informant. He was deep undercover. The government's not going to throw away an asset like that by naming him in a charging indictment. And most of the evidence that was used against the Bundys came from Pete's live streams anyway. They didn't have to name him. And they still haven't named him. That's okay. Because all the other evidence, the arrest record, the sealing of the arrest record, Jeremy Hansen's testimony that he was on a conference call with Pete when he admitted to giving away Lavoy's location, route, and time of departure. That's enough for me. I think it's good enough for anybody with a brain. See, what have we got right here?
Anybody hears this and you're a federal goomba and you want to go pursue people and just use all this information against Bobby Powell, I think that's terrible. It's terrible. I will not help him in his trial. I'll testify against him, in fact, because he's chosen to come after me. But if you need any of my footage, here's the condition. You must provide to me in writing, on behalf of the federal government, that I'm not an FBI informant. Okay? That I have never worked for the government. I've never gotten paid a dime. Once you do that, floodgates are wide open at Bobby Powell's expense. I'm going to fucking bury him. And anybody else that wants to bring that. Let's go. Come on. Now we got the feds tuned in, right? Come on, let's settle this. Come on, let's fucking box. Let's box. You want to fuck with this? Come on, let's go. Come on, you want to box? I've always had the truth on my side. I don't break the law. You want to fuck with me? I'll shove truth up your ass.
Yeah, I'll box with you, buddy. Anytime you want. You just name the time and the place. I'll be there. We'll have a fun. We'll dance. You want to dance? Grease Monkey versus a combat-trained Marine, an expert in indirect fire, light weapons, pistols, edged weapons, hand-to-hand combat. You really want to fight me, buddy? Fucking Grease Monkey? Man of principle. And then he goes on to threaten one of his moderators, Joe Kachopoulos, a good friend of mine.
You chiming in with that idiocy, Joe Kachopoulos? Can you imagine? He's been with us for years. He knows better. Can you imagine that scumbag? Years of lurking. We know how that works. He'll end up making YouTube videos with Bobby Powell. You scumbag. Have your freaking address. You want me to stop by and sit down with you and have a cup of coffee? Kachopoulos? You want to destroy me, Kachopoulos? You want to destroy me, Bobby Powell? You want to destroy me, Vinny Eastwood? Vinny Eastwood's nothing. He's worthless. I wouldn't fight Vinny Eastwood, seriously. I wouldn't do that. I'd actually go pay some 4'2" black kid to play with Vinny Eastwood. You know what I mean? Just to give him some fighting experience.
That sounds like a threat. I think that's that's 18 USC 1875, issuing a threat over the internet. Pete did that to me too, after they stole my page. My Truth is Viral page. They stole it. They hacked it. After my first heart attack, they thought, oh boy, here's our opportunity. We can steal Bobby Powell's page. I want you to take a look at this screenshot right here from my Facebook dashboard. What does that say? It says Santilli Broadcasting Network is the owner of The Truth is Viral. I certainly never gave them permission to take ownership of my page. They stole it while I was in the hospital. And then when I asked Deb about it, she kind of laughed and said, what, this just dawned on you? Well, yeah. I never expected the people that were supposed to be my best friends, my family, to try to steal my page. Deb says that I extorted them.
He told me that if I paid him $5,000, he would keep his mouth shut and he wouldn't destroy Pete.
Can you imagine? We have a dad
if
talking
I gave
about it,
him $5,000.
Yeah.
That's not the way it is at all. After Pete breached our agreement to share the video, after he wouldn't give me access to that video, the guys in black on the bikes, to give to Newsmax, 45 seconds worth of video, I considered the agreement breached. I wanted to be paid for all of the times that he used my video on his show, all of the times that he gave my video to Alex Jones and any other show that he was on. He used my video any time that he wanted. So I sent him an invoice for $5,000, and that is a drop in the bucket. Video like that goes for $100 a second. How many hours of my video did you use, Pete? I should have sent you an invoice for $100,000. I just wanted you out of my life. I wanted to buy some thumb drives and get from here to there so that I could actually do the damned work. On my own dime, and the donations that I received from my viewers, I went to New York City, where I spoke at a rally for the January 6th prisoners.
So I have such a special guest last minute speaker for you guys. I'm so interested myself in what he has to say. I came across him on Twitter, a video I saw, and I reached out to him, and he decided to just come here from Florida. Right from Florida. He's an investigative journalist. Now, you know that's like a dying breed in America. He actually does investigations. He was there the day at the Capitol, and he got really good footage of stuff that was going on inside. And he's been trying to share this, from what I understand, with the FBI, and they haven't really been that receptive because the footage he has actually shows that there was infiltration. I wonder why they don't want to have that footage. So this is Bob Powell. He works for The Truth is Viral. He's the editor-in-chief of The Truth is Viral, so follow that website. And he's also a Marine. So thank you for your service, Bob. Semper Fi. So everybody, this is Bob Powell. Give him a hand.
Okay, these guys have fired you up, right? I'm here to piss you off. My name is Bob Powell, and I was invited to speak here today because I have proof that there was indeed an insurrection at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. But that insurrection was not carried out by supporters of President Trump. I am in possession of video and documentary evidence which proves that Nancy Pelosi engaged in a seditious conspiracy with the Capitol Police and the FBI to attack this nation. Nancy Pelosi, in her official capacity as Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, refused an offer from President Trump to deploy National Guard in the Capitol on January 6th because she knew that if he did, her plan would fail. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a United States Marine. The oath that I swore to protect this nation from all enemies, foreign and domestic, has no expiration date. I don't care if you're wearing a Trump hat or carrying an American flag. Nobody was going in that window as long as I was standing there, and nobody did. I would like everybody to take note of the fact that I am not in FBI custody. The Federal Bureau of Insurrection is scared to death to take my footage and put it in front of a judge to seek a warrant for my arrest, because they know it will expose their plot. Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
Yeah, so I had my basic expenses covered, right? But I still needed to buy thumb drives and other things in order to get the word out. Pete wouldn't help me. Wouldn't give me a dime. He says, how many hours have you worked? None. Because I was too busy getting this work done. Getting my video out there. The important things. I don't have time to sit around being his little video editing bitch. I'm not going to work to promote a man that's not going to help me. I don't care how much he pays me. He says that I'm doing all of this at the expense of America. No, Pete. I'm upholding my oath to defend this great nation. I have spent every dime that I could borrow, scraped together, to get this job done. I even had to sell my house to get it done. I don't care if I die naked in the streets without 2 nickels to rub together. I swore an oath to defend this nation, and with my pen and my computer and these thumb drives that are so important, that's how I'm getting it done. All my emails have been blocked by the deep state. I'm not getting any out. If I ever mention January 6th, my emails just aren't getting where they're going. So I have been physically going around the country to the offices of congressmen and senators and handing them thumb drives. I went to a Trump rally in Sarasota July 3rd of last year, and I gave 2 of them, one to Representative Matt Gaetz and one to Lauren Boebert. And I had a great time doing it too. Check me out, Boogie.
Go, Bobby! Go, Bobby! Go, Bobby! Go, Bobby! Go, 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 go! USA! USA! Go, go, go! Woo, woo!
Garbage. Okay. This is interesting. Everybody go to Bobby and ask why you haven't been indicted. Well, I've told you about 3 or 4 times now. I haven't been indicted because my video shows me defending a window that a government operative had just pulled from its frame.
Do not go in there.
If you can't understand that, and I'm talking to the viewers now, Pete knows that he's full of shit. I'm talking to the viewers now. If you can't understand that simple fact, then you need to stay right where you are and keep listening to Pete Santilli and go down the road to destruction that he's leading you on, because you deserve it. You're that fucking dumb. Okay, so he says, I want everyone attacking these bastards. And that's what they did. I had to unpublish my Truth is Viral page because they hacked it. They were taking down my posts and putting up their own garbage. And then Pete's threatening me. He says he's going to put me back in a wheelchair. Again, bitch, you couldn't fight your way out of a paper bag. I'd be done with you in about 10 seconds.
Bobby Powell, you should all demand an apology on behalf of our listeners.
Here's your apology. Oh, and one last thing. Oh, no, it's not one last thing. I got a couple more things to go here. Even Deb's relatives say that they're FBI informants.
Going through all of this, I had a family member that Vinny Eastwood loves to use. Say
heroin
terrible
addict.
things, horrible things, and said Pete was an FBI agent or informant and did this and did that. Oh my gosh. And the whole time she was taking bags of cash from the FBI.
They throw, I'm not sure exactly how they're related, but it's a close relative, has said that they're FBI informants. And I don't know whether it's true or not. I doubt that it is, knowing Pete's history as a filthy liar. Both of them, Deb and Pete, filthy liars. Said that she's a heroin addict or whatever. It's just deflection. That's all it is. So you've got me, about a half a dozen fellow broadcasters, people that you guys probably watch and respect, and their own family that says that they're federal agents, federal informants, working for the federal government in some capacity. Pete says, who are you going to believe? Me or Bobby Powell? Well, I guess that's up to you. You're going to believe Pete, who I've proven throughout this whole show is a liar, a thief, and a cheat, and a federal informant? Or are you going to believe me, half a dozen broadcasters, and members of his family?
That's it. We're done. We're done with this subject.
We're done with this.
We're done with it. We're done with it. Bobby Powell should be destroyed forever on his own. He's destroyed himself. He should be destroyed. Why? Because nobody should ever find him to be credible. Nobody.
He
You
did
have to
this
wait-
out of
you have
pure.
to weigh this out.
He did this purely out of vengeance.
Oh yeah. I mean,
this was purely vendetta.
and
it had
law-
nothing to do with the truth. Nothing.
Well, I beg to differ. It has everything to do with the truth. I will not go to my grave, whether it's from a heart attack or from being assassinated or for whatever reason, without exposing these scum who have not only betrayed my friendship and loyalty, but who have also betrayed their oath to this great nation and President Trump. So that's the end of Pete Santilli. I've already hired a lawyer. He should be getting notice. I don't know how long it's going to take. But Pete, everything that you have is going to belong to me. All the money that the FBI gave you to betray Lavoy Finicum and put those other patriots in jail at the Bundy Ranch, it's going to belong to me. It's going to pay for my thumb drives. It's going to pay for every gallon of gas that I consume. It's going to pay for my hotel rooms. It's going to pay for my plane tickets. It's going to pay for everything, bud. And after this is all over, and I finally get to retire, it's going to buy me a brand new fishing boat. And that, my friend, you can take to the bank. You crossed the line. You poked the bear. Now you're going to find out what it's like to get bit. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I got a little bit of partying to do. It's Saturday night, and I'm going to have at it. Got me a nice little stogie. Got some Heineken. Did you know that Heineken makes these little mini kegs? It's awesome. It's just like having a draft beer out of a little mini keg. It's so fresh and refreshing. I love it. And I think I'm going to enjoy it. We're going to put on some rock and roll. Hey, honey, turn on the radio. Make it nice and loud, the radio. Put on some good rock and roll, the classic stuff that we like back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. All right. Thank you for watching The Truth is Viral, everybody. My name is Bob Powell. I'll see you next time. As always, God bless, Semper Fi, and hoorah. It's a rockin' Saturday night. Let's get to it.